ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 1, Verse number 2. Sanjay Uvacha Drishtva tu Pandavanekam Vyudham Duryodhanaha Tada Acharyam Upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Sanjay said, O king, after surveying the Pandavas' army arrayed in military formation, Duryodhan approached his guru Dronacharya and spoke the following words. Maharaj Dhritarashtra had inquired from his charioteer and servant Sanjay regarding what was happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, where his sons Kauravas as well as the sons of his brother Pandu had assembled to fight. Sanjay, because of the divine vision that he had received from Srila Vedvyas, knew very well what the outcome of the battle was going to be. However, he also knew that his master Dhritarashtra would not be able to accept the truth. The scriptures say, Satyam bruyat priyam bruyat na bruyat satyam apriyam satyam cha priyam bruyat Eshah dharmah sanatanah, that we should speak the truth but say it pleasingly. We should not speak the truth which is not pleasant. However, we should also not speak untruth which is pleasant. So, knowing that Dhritarashtra's fear was that a compromise may take place between his sons Kauravas and the Pandavas, Sanjay told him that that was not the case. Actually, his son Duryodhan was ready to fight, and in order to assess the power of the Pandavas, he approached his guru Dronacharya. Now one may say that if Sanjay knew what the truth was, that why did he not tell so to Dhritarashtra? Actually, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, which is the conclusion of Sri Krishna's about 2 hours of instructions to Arjun, Sanjay will tell Dhritarashtra, Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishnah Yatra Parthaha Dhanurdharaha Tatra Shri Vijayah Bhutihi Dhruvaha Nitihi Mati Mam. This is the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, where Sanjay will say, wherever there is Sri Krishna, the master of all yoga, and wherever there is Arjun, the supreme wielder of the bow, there will surely be majestic opulence, victory, prosperity, and adherence to righteousness. This is my conclusive opinion. So while at the beginning Sanjay is telling Dhritarashtra regarding Duryodhan's resolve to fight the battle so that Dhritarashtra would not be concerned, he does later on tell Dhritarashtra what his own opinion was, that ultimately the victory will be on the side of Pandavas because Krishna was with them. This is how an expert servant will serve his master, speaking the truth but also not unnecessarily disturbing his master. When Duryodhan approached Dronacharya, he had 2 specific objectives. The first objective was that he certainly was a bit fearful upon seeing the very expert military arrangement which is called here Vyudham or Vyuha of the Pandavas. Vyuha is a very special military phalanx which is arranged by an expert king in such a way that it is impenetrable by opponents from any direction, thereby assuring victory in battle. So, seeing the arrangements of the Pandavas, Duryodhan was a bit concerned if his side was well prepared to take on the Pandavas. Dronacharya, who was the guru of both the Pandavas as well as the Kauravas, because of being subservient to the throne of Hastinapur, was fighting on the side of Duryodhan. So Duryodhan wanted to check with his guru as well as the commander-in-chief Dronacharya if they were well prepared for this fight, and also on the pretext of giving his guru due respect, Duryodhan wanted to display his political expertise, by which he was certainly qualified in all respects for the post of the king. Now Dronacharya is also a very special personality in Mahabharata. He was the son of Rishi Bhardwaj and also appeared not through the union of his father and mother. He was born from a pot of water which is called Dron, and that is the reason his name became Dronacharya. He grew up in the hermitage of his father Rishi Bhardwaj along with his friend Drupad, who was the king of Panchal. They became very close friends, and as a result Drupad offered or vowed to give half of his kingdom to Dron, which later on he refused to give. Dronacharya was married to Kripi, who was the sister of Kripa, and from his wife Kripi he had a son called Ashwathama. Dronacharya was very attached to his son. Dron once came to know that great Rishi Parshuram was giving away all his belongings to the Brahmins. At that time Dron approached him. However, Parshuram informed that he had already given all his belongings to the Brahmins, and the only thing that he had left was his weapons. So he offered to give all his weapons to Dron as well as the knowledge of how to use them. Dron obtained all of these very special powerful weapons from Parshuram along with the knowledge of how to use them, and thus he got the title of Acharya, and then from Dron he became Dronacharya. After Drupad refused to give him half of his kingdom as he had promised during the childhood, Dronacharya started wandering around looking for a place where he could settle and open his own school. He came to Hastinapur, where he came across the Kuru princes who were playing, and he was able to use his special abilities to help princesses solve some of their problems. Seeing this, the princesses approached Bhishma and informed about Dron to him. When Bhishma came to know, he realized that what special capabilities Dron had, and he approached Dronacharya as the guru of the Kuru princesses. So Dronacharya trained both the Kauravas as well as the Pandavas, but among all of them he had very special favor to Arjun. He taught everything that he knew about the weapons and warfare to Arjun, and vowed to make him the topmost warrior that no one would be able to defeat. Related to Dronacharya, you all must have heard the story of Ekalavya, and many times Dronacharya is criticized for not having given the art of or taught the art of weaponry to Ekalavya because he belonged to a lower caste. However, our acharyas explain that that is not true. The reason Dronacharya did not teach Ekalavya or did not accept Ekalavya as his student was not because Eklavya was belonging to a lower caste, as he was the son of the Nishad chief. The real reason was that he knew that Eklavya was short-tempered and also not religious by nature, and if he acquired all these art of weaponry, then he will misuse it, as was displayed by Eklavya himself. Upon being refused the tutelage of Dronacharya, Eklavya made a statue of Dronacharya and on his own learned from that statue the art of warfare. Once Dronacharya, along with the Pandavas and the Kauravas, was going in the forest, and there they heard the barking of a dog. To their surprise, they saw arrows that were shot from a side into the mouth of this barking dog in such a way that his mouth was filled with these arrows, but the dog did not die. He simply stopped barking. They were amazed to see this, that who is such an expert archer. When Dronacharya said, "Whoever the person is, please come in front of me," and they were amazed to see that this was Eklavya. He praised Eklavya for his expertise. Eklavya bowed down and he said that, "O master, I have learned all of this from you." Dronacharya, "How did I teach you?" So Eklavya took him to the place where he had made a statue of Dronacharya and learned from that statue. Such was his amazing dedication. Then Dronacharya said, "Oh, you have learned it from me, then as the tradition is that you must give me Guru Dakshina. You must give me something that I ask of you as token of your appreciation for what you have learned from me." Eklavya said, "O master, whatever you want, I will give it to you." So that time Dronacharya asked him to give the right hand thumb. Eklavya immediately cut his right hand thumb off and offered it to Dronacharya, because without the thumb of his right hand he would not be able to use his bow and arrow. So sometimes people criticize that why did Dronacharya do this? The reason was Dronacharya knew that Eklavya was short-tempered, and because of that he was not able to tolerate the barking of the dog, and secondly he also could see the future that Eklavya will fight on behalf of the Kauravas, and he will only use his power to create disturbance in the society. So in order to prevent all these future problems, he asked Eklavya to give his right hand thumb. Dronacharya had a special boon that he will only die at the time of his choice. During the battle of Mahabharat, Shri Krishna arranged a very special pastime to have Dronacharya killed, because unless he would be killed, the Pandavas' victory would not be assured. This is described in great detail in Mahabharat, the various incidents that led to the death of Dronacharya. But briefly, knowing that it would be impossible to kill Dron, Lord Krishna suggested Pandavas a plan to disarm their teacher. He told Bhim to kill an elephant whose name was also Ashwathama, and then he said, "Yudhishthir, you must say that Ashwathama has died." Now you would be saying that for the elephant, but Dronacharya will think that his son Ashwathama has died, and because he was very attached to his son, knowing that his son has died, he would give up his weapons and then Arjun will kill him. Now Bhim killed that elephant Ashwathama. Yudhishthir Maharaj, because he was so truthful, could not speak the lie. So he said, "Ashwathama hataha iti gajaha," that Ashwathama has died, the elephant. Now when he was saying this, after he spoke the first two words, Ashwathama Hataha, Lord Krishna blew his conch shell, so Dronacharya could not heard the last two words, which were Iti Gajaha, means the elephant has died. So when he heard that his son has died, he completely lost his desire to live. He left all the weapons and put them down, and then focused his mind on Shri Krishna, and Arjun at that time beheaded him. So Dronacharya, this is how he left his body in the battle of Kurukshetra. So this is the conclusion of the second verse of the first chapter. We will continue next time. Till that time, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe. Have a very blessed day.